So it looks like a massive lawsuit has been filed against USPSA, the organization, of course, with the board members named individually in the lawsuit. The lawsuit has been filed by one of the 5 guys that got kicked out. So last year now, more than a year ago now, 5 of us got removed from the organization. I'm one of them. Another guy that got his membership suspended, named Joe Rutowski. He is the one who's filed this lawsuit. Now, I put the link in the description. Like I said, it's a big lawsuit. It's more than a 250-page filing. There's a lot there. It's kind of interesting if you want to go read it. But effectively, what it lays out is that the people running USPSA, they don't do a very good job. Joe is critical of them, and they colluded behind the scenes to remove him from the organization because he was criticizing them. They did it to make an example, and he's got supporting documentation of some of that, like saying, "Oh, we got to string this guy up." And then what happened in public, where the USPSA board was saying, "Oh, we've got these discipline issues, we've got to deal with them." That was just a dog and pony show. That was just theater. That was just to make it look legitimate. Of course, the fix was in from the beginning. Now, we've learned some interesting things as a result of this lawsuit already. For example, USPSA is a Delaware corporation. Well, what we've learned now is they didn't pay their Delaware tax, and they got their corporate status or whatever suspended, or whatever term they use specifically, but they're not a Delaware corporation in good standing, not since 2018. They've got a DBA, doing business as, for USPSA in Washington State that they've been using for stuff, but that relies on the Delaware corporation being legit, is my understanding. I don't know all the implications of this, of the lawsuit, of what's going to happen, of USPSA's legal status. I don't know. I think it'll take a lot of lawyers and a judge to figure out what the hell they're going to do, because I don't know how it works at this point. But like I said, it is very interesting to see this. And just to highlight this same cabal of dickhead FUDs, that's fundamentally what they are. They talk about everything behind the scenes. They're hypersensitive to any sort of public talk. They make decisions behind closed doors, and then the communication they put out at this point is very minimal, but it's designed not to give you any real information about what it is they're doing. The way that these guys do business, it's always been like this, and I don't like the way the USPSA guys do business. If you criticize anything, they'll say, "Hey, we got my fiduciary duty, we can't talk about that," or "Hey, we got to protect the organization of USPSA, we can't have that kind of talk." This is why they kicked me out, and they kicked Derek Lewis, Practical Shooting Insights. They kicked him out of USPSA. They said at the time it's because he was lying. He was telling lies about what they're doing. They were saying I was lying about them. But they've tacitly admitted it in my case, and somebody admitted it in Derek's case. No, we're not lying. We're not kicked out for telling lies. We're kicked out for saying shit that they don't like. And it is hilarious to see this. Just to reiterate for the people that have been watching the USPSA saga, the way these guys do business is bad. Fundamentally, the people running USPSA are the problem with USPSA. And they don't like it when you say that, but that's the truth. And you can tell, if you watch them close, you can tell what motivates them. For example, there's a nationals going on this weekend. There's a big dust-up with Troy McManus, the head of the National Range Officers Institute. He should be a guy who's all about fair dealing and giving people hearing people out and making intelligent decisions. What did he do? He threw a fit at nationals. Said one of the range officers went up to him, verbally attacked him in front of a group of people, and he said, "Hey, you're not going to be allowed to be a range officer anymore. What you're doing is wrong." He was very pissed off. He was very keyed up at this guy. Why? Because he didn't like the guy's social media posts. I guess the range officer's a little bit more leaning in my direction of social media rather than Troy's. But like, just again, if you've been around USPSA nationals and you watch what Troy gets spun up about, it's like he's mad about that guy posting on social media. That makes him mad. He's going to come up on his four-wheeler. He's going to yell at the guy. That'll get a reaction from him. However, there's been other instances at nationals that I've personally been involved in and witnessed where it's like, hey, Troy, they're not scoring this stage right. Like the range officer's staying too far back. They're not picking up the correct times. Got a big issue here. Might have to toss the stage. Got to fix it as soon as we can, whatever. This is a big problem. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to hear it. I've been, like, the maddest I've been at nationals was when there was a range officer that DQ'd like 25 people. I think his name's Dan Austin. This guy shouldn't be a range officer. Probably shouldn't be a USPSA member, but definitely shouldn't be a range officer. Like, this guy sucks. He's out to DQ people. And I watched him DQ one guy quite unjustifiably. And did Troy get mad about that? No, he didn't care. He didn't care. The only thing that got a little bit of a reaction from him was that I was mad about it, and he was afraid I might post about it on social media. So that got him to at least talk to the guy and say, hey, stop DQing people all over the place. You know, I've been saying it for a couple years at this point. Like, the guys that run USPSA, they are fundamentally fucked up. I think people understand that. And all this stuff about the damage that I'm doing to the organization, that Derek Lewis is doing to the organization, all these other guys, like, they're saying we're damaging the organization and that they care about the integrity of the organization and their fiduciary duty and all this stuff. See, they don't even pay their taxes. Like, it's obvious at this point what's going on here. It's been a long string of this kind of nonsense. Removing the last president of USPSA over like some like horseplay at a match. Like, please. Like, this is nonsense. And now finally somebody's filed a lawsuit about it. So I don't need to say any more. Take a look at the lawsuit for yourself. It's pretty interesting. But if you've been watching, it's nothing you don't already know, and it's nothing really surprising. I'll be watching. I'll keep watching, and I'll be updating you.